Hey gang, could the night be any greater? As you can see, I got the top down in my car. Just got back from teaching a philosophy course at Sacred Heart University, where I am right now. And I'm doing another vlog. I mean, could life get any better? And the answer is, well, maybe, yeah, probably, but no, not really. Not really. This is great. So my second video did not come out very well. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it's just because you guys are on vacation. I really don't know. But maybe I found interest in graduations, plane tickets, and diplomas, and you didn't. But I don't know. Maybe you'll find time to watch it. I have no idea. But this topic actually just came up for my lesson tonight here at the university, teaching philosophy. And the lesson that I was going to talk about tonight, I will push off till next week, or maybe even later this week. Maybe I'll have 2 vlogs this week. I don't know. It depends how many views I get. But in any event, I really wanted to discuss and talk about a topic which I talked about, as I said, in my philosophy course tonight. And it deals with an ancient Greek that I know that I've talked about in my class a number of times. And his name is Aristotle. Now, Aristotle was a brilliant mind, born in 384 BC, was the student of Plato. So, I mean, you know that he's brilliant. And, I want to discuss just a piece of his ethics that I think is very important, that students, as they are transitioning from high school into college, but even for the younger audience that I have, my nephew and my niece, shout out to those two, peace, Tyler and Allie. I do want to mention that, the stress that the things that he stresses the most is regards to something in which we all pursue, and that is happiness. Now, what's interesting about the Greeks is, the words in which they use, like happiness, for example, have many different definitions, and unless you know ancient Greek, sometimes it's hard within a translation to understand, well, what type of happiness is Aristotle talking about here? And although I am not an expert in Greek by any stretch of the imagination, my studies at least are able to help me to distinguish really the type of happiness that he was referring to when he meant of happiness referring to the life in which we as human beings should live. And one of the things in which concerns me as an educator and as a teacher and someone who is a philosopher and kind of a Greek thought philosopher is that people nowadays seem to focus on the wrong type of happiness. Aristotle kind of emphasizes this, and the way in which we would emphasize this in the English translation would be with a lowercase h. Individuals seem to choose careers or want to choose things which are going to produce them happiness. So happiness becomes sufficient in the thing in which they do. So if they're no longer happy with what is they're doing because they're not making enough money or things along these lines, then what happens is that happiness goes away. So the happiness is driven by how much power do I have, how much wealth do I have, and Aristotle finds this very dangerous because our decisions now become based on how much money we're making and how powerful we are compared to doing the things which provide that sense of happiness in and of itself. So many students, that when I've asked them, what do you plan on doing? And they say, I want to go into pharmaceuticals, or I want to go into medicine, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a business agent. And I say, well, why do you want to do that? They say, well, because there's money in it. I can make a lot of money. And unfortunately, there's these delusions of grandeur that students have that seem to suggest that, people are going to start throwing the cash at them, and that money is going to be around forever. The question that I have for you that have that mindset is, what happens when the money is gone? Where's your happiness going to lie? Where is your happiness going to be when you no longer have that income, you no longer have that power, you no longer have that wealth? How happy are you going to be? Aristotle wants us to focus on, as in the English translation, we would capitalize that H in happiness, that you're doing things for the sake of itself. You want to be a doctor for the sake of being a doctor. You want to be a teacher for the sake of being a teacher. You want to be a police officer for the sake of being a police officer. You want to, be in the business world for the sake of being in the business world. The money and the fame and the power and stuff that come with that, that's great, but that's not why you're in it. And I think we need more Aristotle in our life, because we need to have that reminder that happiness is not driven based on the wealth and the power that we have. It's based on the love and the passion that we have for the thing that we're doing. I believe that if we focus that happiness on that, with the capital H, I think our moral decision making becomes a lot easier. And I truly think that the relationships that we have with our colleagues, with our business partners, with our friends, with our relatives, etc., will make a lot more sense and be more enjoyable, because we're not trying to provide a means to our happiness. We can make our happiness be self-sufficient. So when you're making these career choices, guys, and again, of all ages, whoever's listening to this, focus on what is going to bring happiness in and of itself. And if we're happy with what it is that we're doing and who we are, I promise you that everything else will take care of itself. And no matter what it is that we have, no matter how big or small our house is or how many cars we have, that's not going to matter. What's going to matter is the fact that we are happy. And I don't think there is anything else that God would want more for us to live than that type of life, and the purpose in which He gave us to perform His mission on this earth. So I want to thank you all for listening. I hope this video does a lot better than 38 views. I want my 150, 200. So let's make this happen. Again, perhaps I will touch base again in, a week, maybe a few days. But another one's going to be coming. And I hope you all enjoy it. Want to wish you all the best. And once again, take it easy, guys. Love you all. Peace.